Good evening, everyone. It's funny, I was teasing my son at home. Some of you probably listened to the radio, and he was daring me to act like the guy in have you heard the new car commercials for the new place here in town where it's, $199, woo! Anyway, that's how I was feeling. Welcome to our 2017 GED HSED graduation ceremony. My name is Chad Dull, and I'm the Dean of the Learner Support and Transition Division here at Western, and we oversee the GED and HSED programs here. Before we start this evening, I'd like to make a few thank yous and introductions. First, I'd like to thank the Cooley Celtic Band for our music tonight. The band members include Lynn Biddick, Audie Olson, and as always, Western's very own Steve Meeker. I'd also like to take a moment to introduce the folks sharing the stage with me. Dr. Lee Rosh, President of Western Technical College. Dennis True, Chair of the Western Technical College District Board. Dr. Denise Vinovich, Vice President of Student Development and Success. Western Technical College Board members Angie Lawrence, Sally Lister. Oh, go ahead. We all like Angie too. David Lane, Ed Lukasik, and Dan Hansen. We also have two guest speakers with us this evening, Senator Jennifer Schilling and Sarah Koenigs. I often feel like my job is to say thank you to everyone, but I'm going to continue a little bit. I'd also like to acknowledge there are a number of Western staff here who actually don't work in the division but are drawn to our fantastic evening that we're having. They're mostly seated over here, and I'd like to thank them for being here as well. Just a couple left. I know that I saw Wally Genevico and Jeff Axness from the School District of La Crosse hiding in the back. They've been great partners to us in our alternative high school program, so thank you to both of them for coming. And last, I'd like to thank Executive Director Mike Swenson and the Western Technical College Foundation staff. Mike and his team work with multiple donors to create financial support for students as they work toward their high school diploma. The foundation has helped hundreds of students complete their diploma dreams, and I'd ask you to join me in thanking them. And now on with the show. Western Technical College has a long and proud history of helping people achieve their educational goals. Beginning in 1912, technical colleges were designed to help high school-age students prepare for the next stop in their career pathway. At that time, the college primarily focused on job training. But in the 1950s, a flood of returning veterans enrolled to finish high school, and that began a steady increase in enrollment for our evening high school courses. Even in the 1950s, the public had begun to realize that a high school diploma was becoming a necessity in the work world. It was in the late 1960s that the Goal-Oriented Adult Learning Program, also known by the acronym GOAL, was created to award high school equivalency diplomas. Since the 60s, the program that you graduated from has grown into a leader at the state and national levels and a noted innovator for helping students begin and continue their educational journeys. One of the most recent innovations at Western is that many of our graduates, certainly including some of you sitting in front of me, leave us not only with a high school diploma, but with college credit. The students that chose this option earned credits by combining the knowledge and skills from their life and work experience with the coursework completed while finishing their diploma. In a final step, these students assembled evidence of their knowledge and experience and interviewed with Western faculty to earn these first college credits. In this year alone, 19 students were able to meet this goal and become college students at the very same time as completing high school. It's a great achievement and a unique feature of getting your high school equivalency diploma at Western. At this time, I'd like to introduce the president of Western Technical College, Dr. Lee Rosh, to share a few thoughts.
Thank you, Dean Dull, and I'm absolutely delighted to welcome all of you to the 2017 goal graduation ceremony. You know, I have a pretty good job. For 28 years, I've been working here. And I get to welcome people at events like this and see the success that happens in our community, and then come across people later on in their lives and hear about their stories of success that started here with Western. So it's a pretty good gig. But your success here, graduates, wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for some other special people, and I know you know that as well. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the members of the district board one more time. You don't realize how many hours they put into a non-paid job, and yet they're absolutely dedicated because they see the things that are happening tonight, and it just motivates them. So in addition to the board members that were introduced, Carrie Buss is in the audience, and I'd like to ask you to all show our appreciation for the board at Western. There's another very special group, and I can say this, you know who I'm talking about. It's the family and the friends that are here today, the support that you've had in the last year or so to help you get to where you are today. It's just difficult to try to do this on your own. Let's show our appreciation for all of the family and friend support that you've had. Thank you for coming. Finally, there's a group of people that are so special at Western. They're the faculty and staff in the Learner Support Division. You know, I gotta say, I've been to other colleges, I've talked to people from other schools, and the talent that we have and the dedication that we have in the Learner Support Division is hands down the best you're gonna find anywhere. And I can say, you may have been successful without them. I know you're going to be more successful because you've had their support and experience. Can I ask the staff and faculty in the Learner Support Division, please rise and let's all show our appreciation. And now graduates. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Graduates, now a chance to use tonight as a step in the future, a step ahead from here. And I just want to encourage you, you have demonstrated to yourself, to your friends and family, that you can do this. But I strongly encourage you not to stop here, because there's so many good opportunities if you use this experience, continue your education. Certainly you're invited to come to school at Western. And you know you'll get the support here. But no matter where you go, don't stop. Don't stop now. So once again, congratulations, graduates, and thank you all for being part of this important ceremony tonight. Best wishes to you.
So as Dr. Rosh alluded to, this is actually his last GED graduation, at least as president. We'll continue to invite him into the future. And I won't embarrass him too much, but I did want to share one quick story. I began working at Western in 2002, and at the time, one of the first questions I asked my boss at the time is, what's it like to work for Lee Rosh? And he told me two things at that time that have stuck with me. The first, and a few of you know Keith, my old boss, and it'll sound like him. He said, Lee has a tremendous faith in the species. I said, which species? He said, humans. And he said at his core that Lee was a good man. I'll leave it simply to say that in 15 years I've experienced nothing that would change my belief in either one of those things. So thank you, Dr. Rosh. So the best way to understand what our program is all about is to hear from our students. 4 graduates have bravely agreed to share their stories with us tonight. Our first speaker is from the Sparta campus. Her name is Dolores Worth. Dolores?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dolores Worthen. I'm very pleased to be here at the Western's 2017 graduation ceremony. I am proud to be one of the many here to receive my diploma. This new chapter of my life is very exciting and eye-opening. Through this journey, I have found that persistence and determination have played a big role in the completion of my high school diploma. Project Proven has given me and others the chance to prove they are willing to change how the world views them. This program is provided to many individuals that are viewed as a lost cause or not worth the effort. I am here to say that your efforts are not in vain. I am among many that are worth the effort, and I am very thankful that the people at Western thought so as well. Education is of the utmost importance and should be treated as such in any and all situations. Anyone can learn if they are willing. Every journey is unique. My journey here has not been an easy one by any means. As a young child, education was never made a point of value in my life. No one ever told me school is important. I continued to have non-influential adults in my life until the age of 17. At 17, I was adopted by a loving family. My adoptive family tried to influence me to be productive, but yet I continued to remain ignorant to the future I could pursue. It wasn't until my first son entered school that I started to have a different view on education. I decided that I wanted education to be an important value in my children's lives, so I made it my priority. I felt the need to overcome the continuation of uneducated people in my family. I knew I had to obtain an education in order to make a difference in my own life and the lives of my children. How was I going to tell my children that education was one of the most important things in life when I didn't have an education myself? I thought to myself, my children will rebel, such as I did. I needed this chain reaction to end with me. My children are one of the many motivations in my life to persevere. Children learn from example, not from verbal direction. I knew I had to lead by example. I had to show the way, not preach the way. During my journey, I have come across fears I've allowed to settle deep within me. One of my greatest fears was the thought that I would be unable to provide for my children. I decided I could change this fate. I came to the conclusion that I had to educate myself, to change my stars, so to speak. I decided to act, not just for my children, but for myself as well. In a way, I would be validating myself because I would have something to show for my efforts. I could feel accomplished and addressed my fears with solutions. I know now that every path is rocky, but the rewards can be monumental. With the help and encouragement of the teachers at WTC and a few friends, I was able to stand here today feeling so incredibly proud. Even with my many hurdles, I jumped through them all and I made it here. I would like to thank a few people personally. First, I would like to thank Stephanie Garger for all her effort and encouragement. Thank you for pushing me when I needed it and helping me pace myself when I needed to as well. Secondly, I would like to thank my trusted and longtime friend, Mark Randall. If not for you, I don't know if I would have made it here. I'm so grateful to know a soul such as yours. Lastly, my biggest influences who have helped me achieve my goal, my beautiful children, Jesse and Gabriel. Thank you for helping Mommy. Thank you for saying never give up and always try. Your words give me hope and strength along the way, and I truly believe that children are the wisest of us all sometimes. I believe the world is what you make of it, so today and every day, become the example, pave the way for all who follow. Change is possible, no matter your situation. There is a way. I fought many battles alone, but with the help of Project Proven, I did not have to do it alone. We all have potential within us and can become exceptional people. With a little investment in ourselves, we can bloom. Once more, I'd like to thank everyone who has helped me along the way to achieve this wonderful moment. I am forever grateful for this new chapter in my life. May all of our dreams come true. Congratulations to you all.
thank you, Dolores. For those of you who might have been watching television recently, Dolores has been a bit of a local celebrity lately too, so we really appreciated you making time to do that. Our next speaker this evening is Haley Padilla.
In this very moment, I'm sure that all my fellow graduates feel a sense of accomplishment. To all those who have come to support us, I say thank you. It's not easy to start something that may not have been so easy in the past. I know that many of us have gone through difficulties in our lives that have led us to put this on hold, but I'm glad we didn't quit. I'm standing here today in front of you all, and I can say I was one to put it on hold. My initial thought was I would never get to where I am now, nevertheless began to dream of a career path. When I was only 14, my parents were deported to Mexico. My older brother was required to leave the army to take care of my sister and me. At the time, I thought it wouldn't affect me. But as I started to look for schools and change from one to the other, I lost all interest in my education and did not want to finish. My parents were my motivation to keep going. I went through 4 schools between the ages of 14 and 16. Whenever I did not like a school, I would move to Mexico for a few months to spend time with my parents. My mom was always so comforting, making a simple cup of tea and talking in the middle of the night for hours so safe, making each moment spent there worth it. I was determined to stay there, but I felt homesick for the U.S. and my hometown of Milwaukee, which led me to repeatedly return to do my best and attempt to finish high school. There were days in class where I would feel I was not myself. My motivation to keep going was not there. They weren't there. I felt disconnected from the world. The fact that I was shy didn't really help me along the way. Speaking to other classmates was hard for me. I would sit there and think, if I make one friend, then maybe it would make my day better. There were days where I was too exhausted to even think about waking up. The thought of making a friend made it even worse. Other days I couldn't even say a word because of how nervous I was, and I didn't know what to say. Sitting in class was even harder. I would hear nothing but a mumble, so unclear, the teacher's voice fading in the background as I got lost in thought. Over the years, I observed a pattern. During winter holidays, I would lose myself. During the time my parents were deported, memories of my childhood would flash back. While it always seemed to put a smile on my face, it would never last. When I turned 17, I decided to stop trying to finish school and start working. I started to see school as something that was out of my reach. When I would go to work, all those unfamiliar faces asking me for my age, making me feel sad to know that I should not be here. They would ask questions as to why I'm working, telling me I should be in school. Every day someone would turn to me, telling me how they regret not going to school and how they would have liked to finish. All those unfamiliar faces making me feel like they were right. I should not be here. Just the thought of working made it hard for me to get up at times, and I would wake up with a panic attack, thinking that life is too short. You would think that after a few pep talks, a few panic attacks, I would have listened, but I seemed to prolong it. I was frightened by the real world, and my thoughts overwhelmed me. I was feeling even more depressed, going through life numb, disconnected even. I started to feel low and decided to find ways to make everything feel better. While my parents were devastated by the choices I was making, my dad's words made me feel better. He said to me, "I may be miles away, but just know we share the same sun, the same moon, and the same stars. Don't forget that I will always be here when you need me." His words made everything melt away, making me feel better and think to myself, I'll be okay no matter what. Not too long after that, I found a job that I liked, making it easier to wake up at times. I would go to work feeling happy because it involved sewing, a hobby of mine that always seemed to distract me from the pain, suffering, and the thoughts I had. However, I still felt unsatisfied and wanted more than this. My brother had moved to La Crosse and told me that they have a great program at Western Technical College to get my high school diploma. I felt relieved. I liked the job, but I felt that there was more for me than what I had led myself to do. Receiving my HSED really makes all I've been through worth it. Being able to take steps like career exploration, getting my civics and acupuncture tests done, and talking to counselors made a difference for me. It has helped me along the way, choosing my career path.
I've done my FAFSA and applied for scholarships, as well as enrolled to Western Technical College this fall in architectural technology. Having done so has been a huge stepping stone for me, and I am most certainly looking forward to it. I want to thank those who have told me their stories, those unfamiliar faces that willingly share the difficulties in life. If it weren't for them, I would not be here now. If it wasn't for my parents being there every step of the way, despite the many miles that separate us, I wouldn't be standing here. For those who have accompanied us on this day, and for those who have accompanied my fellow classmates, thank you. Congratulations to us all for getting here. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Haley. I appreciate it. Our next speaker this evening told me last fall that he'd be speaking at graduation. At the time, I might have looked at him a little cross-eyed, but he told me it was going to happen, so I'm pretty excited that it is. Our next speaker this evening is Terrence Mack.
Well, they told me to breathe. My name is Terrence Mack, and I have been coming to Western Technical College to earn my GED since the fall of '05. The dean at the time was Keith Valiquette, and soon after, Chad Doyle took over as dean. It's been almost 12 years since I started working on my GED. So as you can imagine, I've seen my share of people come and go over the years. My experience with Western has been a journey that went from good to bad. I used to skip classes a lot, but when I did, I just ended up slipping back to where I was when I started. It was pretty frustrating, but I kept coming back to try again. At one moment, I almost passed my GED test, but I failed, and I thought my life ended and that I would not have education or a career. At the time, I thought I was done trying. I thought I was done with classes. I thought I was done with being able to fulfill my dream of earning a GED, but I came back. I didn't give up. When I was 10 or 11, I remember all the teachers telling me, "Terrence, you can do it. You are smarter than you think." With that, I knew I had it in me to be a successful person. You are never too old to come back to school to better your education. I'm 31, by the way. Anyone can do it. Just take it step by step. And the further you go, the easier it gets until next thing you know, your goals are met. I have 2 baby girls, Ayana and Takaya, and a caring, soft-hearted girlfriend, one of my biggest supporters. And I also have a baby girl on the way tomorrow as we speak. It took a lot for me over the years to get through this and to actually graduate. For anyone listening to me today, never give up on life. Even when life does not go your way and things look like they won't work out, never give up. Keep stressing that point. I want to say thank you to someone who has had faith in me and has been in my corner, never given up on me over these past 12 years. Amy Delagrave. To any teacher who has worked with me, I appreciate every moment of your time with me. To the secretaries who are always helping me out and giving me a good laugh. Okay. I'm sure I amused the hell out of them. Thanks for that, it all counts. I also have to give a big thank you to my teachers, Betsy and Carly, the duo. They are great teachers. To Carol Anderson, Nancy Nelson, and Karen Duncanson, you had the most patience with me, and I appreciate the time and effort you took with me in order for me to be standing here with you all tonight. Western Technical College has taught me so much, and they all have the resources I need to move forward. To all people over the years who doubted me, look at me now. I never gave up and I kept going.
I will admit, I care about all our students, but some of them kind of get in your heart. You got my heart, Terrence. So I'm glad you're graduating, but I'm going to miss you, so come back and see us now and again. Our last speaker this evening is Sarah Bowman.
Hi, my name is Sarah Bowman. I just turned 25 years old. I am proud to be graduating with my high school diploma at Western today. It took me a long time to get motivated to go back to school. I was a troubled child, but as I stand here today, no one would guess that I am a high school graduate and a college student. I didn't get to this point easily. I gave my teachers here at Western a hard time. Actually, most of the time. Especially Carol's class when it came to summarization, and Nancy's class all the time. She knows what I mean. I dropped out of school when I was 18 years old because I was in group homes for all my teenage years. When I tried to go back to finish my diploma, they wanted me to redo the entire 2 years that I already did in Texas. And then I found out I was expecting a child. It took me a long time to build up the encouragement and the strength to go back to school. What helped motivated me was that I wanted to be a mother that my son could be proud of. I realized that he needed a responsible mother. Western provided me with the opportunity to better myself and the tools to be part of a society to be a good mom for my son. My son, Caden, is now 2 years old. He is my inspiration of keep going. I want to fulfill my educational and career goals before I'm 40 years old. I really want to say that this school has great teachers. If it wasn't for the teachers encouraging me and asking me how I was doing, I would have dropped out of the first 3 weeks. But Carla and Betsy made me love school than I ever thought I could. They made learning fun and exciting. My favorite memories was that we were doing candy and the pond water activities. After the first every 3-week units, we received a certificate of completion. I remember I told Betsy if we don't get a certificate after the second week, I was going to quit. So Betsy gave me a Post-it note that says you are accomplishing things, and I still have that note, and it is in a frame. One of my weaknesses is if I'm not getting encouragements, I give up. But there was a time that I wanted to give up, but I counted the weeks like Betsy and Carla did, and I saw that I was getting closer to my goals. There was a time that Carla gave us a worksheet, and I came in late, was having a bad day. She told me to work on it as best as I could. Then I gave her a hard time. Carla pulled me out in the hallway and asked me how she could help. I said, just giving me a worksheet and telling me to do it, I'm just going to throw it in the floor, and that's what I did. But Carla stuck with me, and I didn't quit. Even though that I struggle through my everyday problems, I worked through and overcome them. I got through school and never gave up. I know now I can do anything I put my mind to. My mind is set on going to college, law school, and eventually opening group homes or a rehab center for abused kids. I have been there. I know what it is like to struggle. I am here to tell you that it is true. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I am standing here today not only with my high school diploma, but I have some college credits and an OSHA certification, CPR, first aid certification, and I'm a participant of Youth Build, a new program with the college that helps build various skills to help me in my life, and we are also building a house for others. I want to encourage all of you to take this opportunity to be more successful and fulfill your dreams. We finally made it. There is no stopping us now. So good luck, class of 2017. Make your future count. And I also want to thank the senator for giving us a ride to graduation today.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you all four of you. I would just add to that each of you here tonight has a story. Own that story, right? It made you who you are. It's important, and don't ever be ashamed of what took you to where you are. We're fortunate tonight to have two guest speakers. Our first guest speaker is Sarah Koenigs. Sarah dropped out of high school at the age of 16 in order to help her mother, who was ill. Sarah took care of two younger brothers and her elderly grandfather, who had suffered a severe stroke. Sarah's grandfather passed away when she was 20, and when she was 21, she went back to school and earned her HSED. Sarah used her HSED as a launching pad to further education, including a bachelor's degree from UW-Oshkosh, and very recently, like last week, a master's degree from UW-La Crosse. Sarah has a passion for connecting GED and HSED graduates to higher education, and I'm thrilled to have her here tonight. Please welcome Sarah Koenigs.
Thank you so much. First, I just want to say how extremely honored and humbled I am to be a part of your big day. Thank you for having me here. Like Chad said, my name is Sarah, and I have a story of how I got here, just like you all. I was 16 when I dropped out of high school, helped my mom and my grandpa, and I didn't really care much about school. I just thought I didn't really need it. So as life went on, I realized that not only did I need my high school diploma, I really wanted it. So I asked around and I found out I needed to work with my local technical college in order to get started. And I started studying, taking the practice tests, all the practice tests, borrowing the money for the tests from my dad, and finally taking the test. I earned my high school equivalency diploma. And life just went on. I was raising my kiddos and working. Some jobs I really enjoyed and some jobs not so much. But I soon realized that there was one thing that I wanted more of, and that was that formal education. I decided I would go back to school and sought out some advice at that same technical college where I'd earned my HSED. I spent some time learning about the different degree programs and started asking myself what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. My kiddos were nearly grown, and my job history was hit or miss at best. with most of my work experience being as a volunteer in my children's schools. So I decided to take some classes, and one thing led to another, and I'm proud to say that just before my 40th birthday, I earned my bachelor's degree in organizational administration from UW-Oshkosh. I thought the next step would be easy, and I would get a great job and just live out the rest of my life. But I graduated in 2010, and there just were no jobs to be had. So I continued to hang out with my kids, working part-time and doing volunteer work. One volunteer opportunity was at the University of Wisconsin in Fond du Lac, where I lived. And I worked in the student work zone, where I tutored students on writing assignments and helping them with their scholarship applications. While I was there, I realized that education was not only something I enjoyed, but it was my passion. And I thought, I could do this work. I want to do this work. I did my research and found a master's degree program where I could learn more about education. I was really excited to start this new chapter in my life, but like we all know, life has a way of getting in the way of our plans. I went to my program orientation on a Tuesday that fall, and on Friday, while on his way home from his girlfriend's house, my 20-year-old son Matthew was killed by a speeder. My world was shattered. Everything I had known to be true on earth was now not true. I had to do the hardest thing a parent has ever had to do, go on living without my child, without my Matthew. The next year was a blur, and honestly, I only existed. Going through the motions of life, but not really being alive, because how could I live without my Matt? And after a while, when the sun continued to rise and the world continued to go on against my will, I found myself wondering what my purpose would be. My surviving children were grown, and honestly, I seemed to need them more than they needed me. So what would my reason for getting out of bed be every day? What reason did I have to put pants on? What was I passionate about? I did some soul searching. I really felt like I was starting over. I was forced to become this new person, a grieving mom. I didn't know how to be her, but I had to learn. I had to learn to live again, and I had to learn what I could be passionate about. I contemplated a through hike of the Appalachian Trail, a little over 2,000 miles. And I daydreamed about returning to graduate school and earning my master's degree. I knew that education was my passion before in my old life, and that was still true for me. So graduate school won, and I eventually found a program I liked and felt connected to. And I decided to take the leap, and as of last week, I now have a master's degree in education. As we've all learned, life gets in the way of our plans, and the sun continues to rise, and the world continues to go on. And while our journeys may not be identical, we have this in common. We do not have a traditional path to our high school diploma. Some of us may have gotten here sooner than others, but we all got here, and we are all high school graduates. I think it is always important to know what we are passionate about, what gives us purpose when the sun rises and the world continues. What is your passion? Maybe you already know, or maybe you are just starting your journey to discovering your passion. But whatever your passion is, I want you to know that this accomplishment of earning your high school diploma is a huge step, and I am so incredibly honored to call you all my fellow high school graduates. Congratulations on earning this most important degree, and I hope all of your dreams come true.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Our keynote speaker this evening is State Senator Jennifer Schilling. Jennifer Schilling is serving her second term as the state senator for the 32nd Senate District after being elected in a 2011 special election. She previously served as the state representative for the 95th Assembly District and worked as a legislative aide to State Representative Mark Meyer and Congressman Ron Kind. She's a proud graduate of UW-La Crosse and a former La Crosse County supervisor. Jennifer was elected by her colleagues as the Senate Democratic leader. She has served as a ranking member on the Joint Committee on Finance, which is primarily responsible for crafting the state's budget and reviewing state appropriations and revenues. She has also served on the Senate Committee on Government Operations, Public Works, and Telecommunications, and as the ranking Democratic member of the Senate Committee on Universities and Technical Colleges. Locally, Jennifer serves as a member of the UW-La Crosse Alumni Association Board of Directors, the UW-La Crosse Chancellor's Community Council, the La Crosse Area Habitat for Humanity Women Build, the La Crosse Area Chamber of Commerce, the La Crosse County Local Emergency Planning Committee, the La Crosse County League of Women Voters, the La Crosse County Democratic Party, the Vernon Women's Alliance, and Viroqua Chamber Main Street. In her free time, which I can't imagine she has any, apparently she's an aspiring Uber driver as well. So please welcome Senator Jennifer Schilling.
Thank you. Well, I have been inspired tonight by listening to your stories. I really have. We all have a story. We all have a story. And I just want to say thank you, President Lee Rosh, incoming President Roger Stanford, Dean Dull, Dr. Denise Voinovich, Amy Thornton, Wade Hackbarth, the district board members who are with us tonight, the distinguished faculty, friends, family, and the class of 2017. Welcome and congratulations. Exactly. I want to start out by saying a deep and heartfelt congratulations to all of you for making it here tonight. Pursuing your education and investing in your future is not an easy task. We have heard those stories tonight about the journey and the time that it has taken. But seeing all of you here today speaks volumes about your commitment as well as the work that you have done to better yourselves. For those of you who don't know me, I'm State Senator Jennifer Schilling, as was mentioned in my introduction. I live in La Crosse with my husband and our two boys, Nate and Zach, who are in 2nd grade and 6th grade. And in addition to serving as the Democratic leader in the state Senate, which, as I explained to my boys, it's like I'm the class president for the Democrats in our caucus, I am honored to represent Western Wisconsin's 32nd Senate District. It's La Crosse, Vernon, Crawford, and Monroe counties. I am thankful for the privilege to speak to you tonight, and I want you to know that I am proud of all of your accomplishments. Today is a milestone to be remembered and celebrated for your success, for your hard work, your dedication, and your perseverance through considerable challenges. Today, I celebrate your achievements, and also I admire the potential that I see in each one of you. In the state Senate, it is one of my responsibilities is to stand up for those who have been left without a voice, who feel all too often that it's hard for them to find their voice, that they've lost their voice to get ahead and to overcome the setbacks in their lives. I love meeting with people across the spectrum of this state, to hear their stories, to glean their inspiration, their stories, to help me better represent and walk in the shoes of others in this state and in our community. That is why it is so inspiring for me to be a witness to your success as you find your voices. As you graduate, become active and contributing members of your communities, you can now own that responsibility to use your voice and continue to inspire those who are looking to find theirs. Education is the key to using your voice in a productive and effective way. Learning how you can use your voice to be a self-advocate and also how you can use it to improve the life of others. You may not know it now, but you have been given a powerful platform to not only get ahead in life, but to help others along as well. It is up to you to take that next step, to push forward and blaze the trail for others. And I want you to continue on this path because for so many people think graduation is the end. It's just the beginning. It's a new beginning to the next chapter in your life. It's a continuation of bettering yourself and your community. This is transformational. You have engaged, you have inspired, and this is transformational for you and the next generation. We heard from 3 of the 4 speakers that spoke about bettering themselves for their children. So what you have done today in the years leading up is helping to better the next generation, that you have set an example. That this journey that you are on is undoubtedly will include new challenges and opportunities on the horizon. But you are that role model. You are going to lead new paths and success as you continue on. But I know you also have the coping skills to deal with disappointments, and that you have the grit and the grace to persevere. Taking on every challenge and capitalizing on every opportunity will continue to lead to success. No one is saying that the journey is going to be easy, and I know many of you know that that journey is filled with S-curves, U-turns, and bumpy roads, and construction, the road is closed, but you find a new path. You find a new roadway. You stay on track and remember what the end goal is. You have visualized and seen your future. You know what your goals are. To move forward from where you are today, you will need to set new goals. There'll be difficult times when you might struggle, but you will move onward through the obstacles to reach your goals. I know that it's hard to imagine the day when those dreams become a reality, but the only direction is upward if you want to succeed. Your dreams were not meant to be attained overnight. You have to work at them every day. As I walked out of the Capitol today, I saw on a board along the wall of the Capitol, it said, if you are going to dream, don't dream small dreams, dream big ones. Dream big dreams. And that was from our first Secretary of State, an African-American woman who was our first elected official here in Wisconsin, statewide. I want to encourage you to unlock your mind so that you can reach your full potential. You can reach your dreams with that same hard work and perseverance that brought you here today. When you unlock your mind through these continued opportunities of education and learning, you will climb that ladder of opportunity and it will become less daunting. I know that you are working to achieve your own American dream. It's possible to seize it. It is that experience that you will learn, and you will become better and stronger as you are persistent to keep going. You've already done it. You have met this goal. You have it within you to be successful and to follow your path and your story. Now, earlier this year, I took a class through the Chamber of Commerce in servant leadership. And it was 4 classes by one of my favorite instructors at Viterbo that I've never had, Tom Thibodeau. And for several months, there were 25 of us in the community who met to learn about servant leadership and to learn about inspiring stories about how we can make ourselves and our organizations that we're part of better. So I started to do some reading about servant leadership. And one of the stories that I have come across, I often reference when I speak at graduations. And it is the story of Charlie Plum, a U.S. Navy jet pilot who served in Vietnam. And I learned about his story through some of the readings of servant leadership. Charlie flew 74 consecutive successful combat missions. However, on his 75th mission, his F-4 Phantom fighter plane was shot down by a surface-to-air missile. The plane exploded with some 12,000 pounds of jet fuel, flipping the plane topsy-turvy, end over end, downward towards a rice paddy below. Charlie was forced to eject. The only thing between him and his imminent death was his parachute that he prayed would open. He finally felt the opening shock of the parachute. During the 90 seconds of descent, he was shot at by enemy troops. He thought to himself, "The audacity of this enemy," Charlie said. "They just knocked down my multi-million-dollar airplane and now they're trying to kill the pilot." Charlie made it down to the ground alive, but was then captured and spent 2,103 brutal days as a prisoner of war in a communist Vietnam prison camp. Many years after he was repatriated, Charlie and his wife and another couple were sitting together in a little restaurant in Kansas City. 2 tables over was a gentleman who kept looking at him. Charlie would look back. He didn't recognize him, and he kept catching this guy staring at him. Finally, the guy stood up and walked over to Charlie's table and pointed at him with a sort of stern look on his face. "You're Captain Plum," he said. Charlie looked up at him and said, "Yes, I am Captain Plum." The guy said, "You're that guy. You're that guy. You're the guy that flew jet fighters in Vietnam. You're a fighter pilot and part of that Top Gun outfit. You launched from the aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk. You parachuted into enemy territory, and you spent 6 years as a prisoner of war." Somewhat dumbfounded, Charlie looked up at the guy and said, "How in the world do you know that?" The man chuckled, smiled, and replied, "Because I packed your parachute." Charlie was speechless. The man grabbed Charlie's hand and pumped his arm and said, "I guess it worked," and then he walked off. So Charlie laid awake that night thinking about all the times he had walked the long, narrow room below sea level on the aircraft carrier, where the man sat at a table packing the parachutes. How many times must he have walked past this young man without even saying, "Hi, good morning, good job, or I appreciate what you do"? How this sailor held in his hands, each time folding the parachute, the fate of someone he didn't even know. So who's packing your parachute? Who has helped pack your parachute for a landing here today? Everyone has those people in our lives that provides what they need in life to make it through the day. Charlie needed a physical parachute, an emotional parachute, a mental parachute, and a spiritual parachute to survive those 6 years. They all helped him reach safety. So I want all of you to think about who has packed your parachute. Your kids, for that emotional support, family, friends, instructors. They've all played a part in packing your parachute for a landing here today and to allow you to continue to soar into the future. Now, I thought that that was going to be the end of my speech, and I never really know how to wind these up. However, sometimes I find that life and my speech write themselves. So the comment about being a part-time Uber driver was the fact that tonight on my way down to the Lunda Center, I was on the corner in my nondescript mom minivan at the corner of Main Street and West Avenue. And I saw 2 young women walking, one carrying a black gown. And at the stoplight, I rolled down my window and I said, "Are you graduating tonight?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "I'm your speaker, hop in." Sarah was that speaker. And I asked her a little bit about her story. First, she said, "We have to get one more friend. We're meeting our friend at Mayo." I said, "All right, we're getting in the car." We went down to Mayo Hospital. We picked up the 3rd friend. And I said, how would you were going to be late? Well, we would have taken the bus. You find a way to make things happen. I said, "What are you going to do after graduation? You've got the certificate. Are you going to continue with schooling?" She told me what she was going to do. And she said in a couple days, she's moving into a new apartment. I said, "So the folks at Cooley Cap help pack your parachute." They help pack your parachute. Her friend's starting a new job down at Fazie's. She's excited about that. So to think about these women and the folks that have helped pack their parachute. Now, I said, I gave you a ride to graduation. I'm going to make sure you get home, too. So I'm not going to be abandoning them after the speech. We'll be taking pictures. I said, "On your wheels home," and we'll get down Main Street, and I'll take them back home and drop them off. But that inspired me. The will to make it happen, get it done, to walk to graduation, and just by karma and luck to get picked up by the speaker and for me to hear your story. So thank you. So thank you for the opportunity to share with you in part of a day that is full of celebration and momentum. And I want you to know that I believe in you. This community believes in you, this campus believes in you, and you can do whatever you set your mind to. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. Congratulations, class of 2017. Onward, upward, and forward together. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Schilling. Every graduation has its own story. I think you might have got the winner there. So, before we move on to the part you're all waiting for, I have a couple other acknowledgments I'd like to make this evening. I'd like to recognize 3 of our outstanding staff members are retiring at the end of the year. And combined, those individuals represent more than 80 years of dedication to students. I know that I saw Jeanette Brownell here earlier. Is Jeanette here? There's Jeanette. Congratulations, Jeanette. And is Dewey Corper here? Oh, did Dewey not make it this evening? Well, thank you to Dewey. And go ahead, you can applaud for Dewey in absentia. What do they say at the Oscars? I'll accept it on his behalf. And Nia Vang has chosen to retire as well. I don't believe Nia's here this evening, but thank you, Nia. I have one on a personal note. I have an acknowledgement I'd like to make. A long time ago, a Chinese writer named Lao Tzu wrote the following about leadership. With the best of leaders, it is always the same. When the work is done, the project completed, the people will say, "We did it ourselves." Tonight is the last GED graduation for a leader who embodies that vision of selfless, quiet leadership. Dr. Denise Vinovich has announced that she will be retiring next March, which is a very strategic thing to do if you're looking to not have much attention paid to it, but I can't let her get away with that entirely. Dr. Vinovich is my mentor and my friend. She is also a rock-solid supporter of students' dreams, students like all of you. Denise has laid a foundation for success that will extend long after she has left Western. And to say thank you, at least in a small way, I wanted to add her, in a metaphorical way, to the foundation of our campus. Our courtyard, between the Integrated Technology Center, the Academic Resource Center, and the Business Education Center, will soon include a brick that reads, Dr. Denise Vinovich, friend and mentor. Please join me in thanking Denise for everything she's done for Western. At this time, I would ask Mr. Dennis True, Chair of the Western Technical College District Board, to give the charge to the graduates on behalf of the board. Please welcome Dennis True.
Thank you, Dr. Dahl. I appreciate that. I began this evening with some conversations with several of you, talking about what you've experienced and the road you've been on and what's next. Trey, I apologize that you were split up from your lady friend over there, your graduation partner, but you know, it's the way it works. So, congratulations anyway. I'd like to say a few things, and it's directed just to you folks here. This graduation ceremony is an announcement. It's an announcement to the world that you're ready to take the next step in your life. It says you've completed an important part of your learning process, and we congratulate each and every one of you on the completion of this phase of your education. As a GED, HSED graduate, you may from time to time continue to get that paralyzing feeling that you may have had over the last year or so. The feeling that says, what if I can't do this? If only I were smarter. Maybe I should just quit. We've heard a lot of stories about quitting and then starting again. Here are 4 things, just 4 things that I'd like to share with you in case these thoughts pass through your head. The first one is, you've successfully earned your diploma. You already know. that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. I think that it's always the first step towards becoming stronger and getting better. All of you sat down at your first GED class counseling conversation and asked for help to make it happen. And you may have also asked your instructor one way or another from time to time, would you explain it to me one more time? Just one more time? The second thing, there may be a few or many people in your life who will underestimate you. Do not let you be one of them. Doubt can paralyze you, it can change you. Don't let the voices of self-doubt take over your mind. Don't let the person that you see in the mirror each day be the one who underestimates you. The third thing, when you hear a statistic about how likely or unlikely you are to succeed at something, that statistic is not a prediction. It's a challenge for you to prove it wrong. We've all heard statistics about how likely we are to succeed or fail. These statistics, more often than not, are based on our race, on our gender, on our family's financial standing, or our status of citizenship. Again, it's not a guarantee or a prediction. It's a challenge for you to prove it wrong. And the fourth and final thing, we've all heard inspirational stories about people who have lost their legs and still run marathons, or people who have gone blind and still make art. These stories are moving and inspiring, but all of you, you don't need to go that far for inspiration. You are your own inspiration. Remember that you were that person who, without any formal education, got your diploma and put yourself literally on the steps of starting college. Let that person inspire you to get up and continue trying. Each and every one of you, as graduates, can do this. You already have. You're here tonight. So, let the person that you are today, with all the hard work it took and the sacrifices you made to get here, let that person inspire you. When you have those weaker moments of self-doubt, let that person you are today remind you that you can do it, that you can go far, and that you intend to outdo everyone's expectations. Be your own inspiration. Finally, put this accomplishment in your future learning to good use, in your career, in your relationships with your family, in your involvement with your community. The world's going to be a better place if you do. So, on behalf of the Western Technical College District Board, I applaud you on your achievement and hereby proclaim that each of you has met the needed requirements, and we are pleased to recommend this class of 2017 for graduation.
Thank you.
Graduates, would you please rise? Thank you, Dennis. Tonight, two of our instructors, Betsy Breckenridge and Carla Walker, will introduce our graduates. As they're making their way to the stage, all you need to do, graduates, is follow the directions of the ushers, so no need to panic. And here we go.
This is Haley Padilla. This is Dolores Warthon. Elizabeth Imge.
Do you love being up here? What? Do you love being up here?
This is Taylor Bonfeld. This is Darcy Nash. This is Sarah Torres. This is Kale Olfke. This is Sergio Sandoval. Ortiz. This is Jesus Barber.
You can, but it's hard. Yeah.
This is Heather Engelman. This is Talon Kangas. Brianna Davis. This is Corenda Doherty. This is Terrence Mack.
They are a lot louder than you are. They are a lot louder than you are. You better be loud, Carl.
This is Janelle Jensen. This is Giovanna Williams. This is Trey Dixon. This is Owen Telemontes. Alexis Jones. This is Matthew Hellerud. This is Mackenzie Sperling. This is Jenny Roloff. This is Alyssa Masavich.
You have a following.
This is Mackenzie Basil.
Skeps choking me. Oh no. It's got real uncomfortable. It's too late now. Don't run out next time.
This is Cassie Collins. And David McPherson.
Sarah Bowman. Daniel Crosby. David Reefer. Samantha Baldwin. Jade Mills.
You made her cry.
Jedediah First. Noemi Hernandez. Chris Dahl. Kimberly Hawley. William Witten. Matthew Clark.
Too much to do when you're just
Lee Lore. Pader Yang. Pao Vu. Pu Xiang. Vong Song Xiang.
Graduates, if you haven't already, please move your tassel from one side to the other. Congratulations all.